Hey, what's going on, YouTube and everybody listening? It's your boy King Gabe. Just gonna share with you a little bit about what we kind of got planned for Star Striker coming into Yumeko. Like I said, I haven't written out the rough draft yet, of course. Matter of fact, I gotta get back to work on those illustrations for the rough drafts that we do have out, so I can try to get the first book out. Yeah, kind of another little standstill, doing a lot of other different things, So I get some more panels done up, and eventually more sketches as well to sketch panel stuff like that. So anyway, right now I'm just gonna tell you little bit about what came to mind for Star Trek coming into Yumeko, and at the moment what is in thought to put into his introduction and everything, is kind of rebirth and everything. So first, let me show you a little bit, sort of enhance the live action photos of some of the main Star Trek characters. First off, you have Angela Pierre instead of Angela Adam. She's going to be related to Monet Chanel Pierre. So they're going to be twin sisters. For those of you who don't know from previous videos, Angela was actually based off of Anshilla, very close high school friend of mine. And once Angela saw the character in my first Star Striker book, she came up with the ideal of adding another character, which that's where the creation of Monet Chanel Pierre came from, and being besties with Angela originally in the original Star Striker comic. Yeah, so one reason why they're going to be sisters in this introduction coming into Yumeko is because in the first Star Trek comic book series, they were introduced as best friends there. And the thing was, when I came up with Angela, inspired by Angela, I was like, hey, I could make her, look kind of like Angela. Angela saw the first comic book and Angela's design and was really impressed with the comic to the point where she wanted to add a best friend to Angela, and that's where the creation of Monet came from there. So when I designed Monet, trying to sort of wing a design, I ended up kind of making her look similar to Angela. And of course I did ask Angela, was that okay and everything, when she saw it. And she was cool with, with Monet being that way. So just kind of went with that. And so now, being that they, in order to keep that form, with Yumeko, I thought, why don't they just be sisters from the start? That way they'll even be even closer with each other. Also, if you didn't know, earlier in an earlier video of me mentioning this, it should be on the channel, in loving memory of Angela had passed 3 years as of now, September of 2019, due to a car crash. It was very tragic there. She was on her way home from a church event, and car just swerved into her right just as she was turning into the street going to her neighborhood. It was. So this will definitely be loving memory of the way the characters will be brought into Yumeko, especially because you got to make it natural. Following the events of Panubian's defeat, Hiko, Naomi, and Brownie would be interviewed by Angela, who was revealed to have already been in Yumeko. She is one of the kids, as was stated in an earlier issue. There's several kids that have ended up in Yumeko, much like Hiko and his friends. So apparently Angela has appeared there at some point, and now we're seeing her as a Barnhart City News reporter, interviewing Hiko, Naomi, and Brownie. And this leads to Brownie telling about when he first met his other friends, like Anna, excuse me, like Anna and Emily, Dashtail and Billy and Gerald and all them that were on the space exploration with him. So sort of get a bit of a flashback story. After that, Hiko and his friends would have to depart for Elmer City to try to find any of the other kids that are missing. But of course, yeah, they do it. They will come back to Barnhart City, of course, after the mission is done. But yeah, finding any other kids that are ended up here in Yumeko, as well as Brownie's friends. And as they've departed, a few days after that, you will start seeing Star Striker sightings. And that is going to lead Angela to wanting to know about Star Strikers. So, yeah, kind of going into it that way. Sort of like the trailer I made a while back for Star Striker. So, yeah, definitely kind of putting a bit of that ideal in there. Now, of course, this is a enhancement to Samuel Lee Princeton, live action photo, and his friend Brian Valentino Robinson, and also Samuel's sister Sheila Princeton as well. Looking good. Of course, how they're going to be introduced, like I mentioned before, with the whole Star Striker appearances and Angela trying to find out about him and stuff like that. Sort of like an investigative journalist. Of course, kind of a bit of a Superman reference. Samuel gets becomes part of the Barnhart News team, and this is they are junior news reporters, by the way. So he joins up and works along with Angela, sort of like the Clark and Lois kind of thing there. Um, might even have a little funny nod to a certain scene when Clark had told when Lois was wondering how Clark got all those pictures of Superman, and he's like, "Well, Lois, the secret is I'm actually Superman in disguise." You have a really bad sense of humor, Clark. You asked. So, yeah, yeah, I like that scene, by the way. Of course, in the New 52, it was a little more sincere, and she actually did believe he was Superman. So there was that, but it was pretty humorous in that other one. But anyway, so yeah, he would definitely. That's one reason why Samuel has the glasses, because there's a superhero that he's a fan of from what's called IT Comics, sort of like their version of DC Comics, and Ultra Cat is kind of their version of Superman, sort of like how Arthur has their version of Superman and Batman with Bionic Bunny and Dark Bunny. So yeah, there's that. And of course, Brian will be hanging around with him, sort of his tech buddy and everything. Eventually, he would become his partner Target, sort of kind of a little homage of what inspired me to make Star Striker, which was Static Shock. How his friend Richie became Gear. Then, of course, his sister Sheila, she's kind of the one, since they're in Yumeko, and kind of away from their parents. So she's kind of the one having to keep an eye on Samuel and Brian, going in and out as Star Striker and Target. So there's gonna be that. Of course, eventually Angela will find out that Star Striker is Samuel, as well as Brian being Target. Because, like I say, she is a really good journalist. And eventually, yes, Monet will come into play. Monet is actually going to be in a different city, not too far from Barnhart. But at some point after the Star Striker sightings and Target's introduction, because that was one thing I didn't do in the other Star Striker series. I never did introduce Target, but I ended up bringing Diva Slay out first, aka Monet Chanel Pierre. So this time, yeah, it's going to be Star Striker, then Target, aka Samuel and Brian. Then, of course, Angela's going to find out their identities, because that's going to lead to her mentioning about her sister Monet, and how she's a fashion designer and she could design them some kind of upgrade their costumes a bit, that they will have at first. And then of course, but Angela doesn't know that Monet is in Yumeko until, like I say, shortly after finding out who Star Striker and Target are. And I think the introduction of Monet would be like a pageant, like some pageant in Barnhart, and Monet comes from the city that she landed in, Yumeko, as a part of the pageant. Chances are she probably would already be in her Diva Slave form, because that was one thing about it. She did already have her powers when she was first introduced in the Star Striker series, so she probably would be in her Diva Slave form, with her powers and everything. So that would be that. And also, like I said, it would be more detail as far as how, each of these stories will come. But yeah, you will still get stuff with Hiko and his friends. It'd be sort of like kind of a back and forth, but with it being all in the Yumeko series, it'll be a lot easier to follow along with it. You won't have to worry about trying to switch comic books and all that. Like, okay, I need to read Yumeko. Now I need to read the Star Striker series. It's all there. It's gonna be like, well, okay, so, Hiko and his friends leave for Elmer City, while they're, because it's probably going to take a while to get to Elmer City. Then you see what's happening with Angela investigating Star Striker. A little bit more with Hiko and his friends with the whole, I think I mentioned this in the previous video, but what's going to happen with Zayden and meeting Tyrone with them. Journey continues. We see a little bit more with Star Striker, yada, yada, yada. So that's pretty much how it will go. Definitely sort of a back and forth, and eventually the two parties will meet each other. There is a chance of introducing another character in the Star Striker group, which would be Venom X. Just have to think of a good way to bring him in, which I know is going to obviously be a lot better than the original 2004 series when I first came up with Star Striker, because I'm just going to be honest, that introduction of Venom X there was not too good, and wasn't even much to it, to be honest. So yeah, here will definitely be an improvement with that. So that's all I got to say on that right now. Now I got to get to, first I got to go get ready for church there, and get all fixed up and everything. And then, come back and, fix up start doing, more illustrations, probably a little bit more rough draft, but yeah, definitely got to get to it. And we will see you in the next video. Also, don't forget, like, subscribe, share with your friends, buy some of our available comic books, and support us on Patreon. And also, before you go, these are some, I got this new app on my phone. So I did, it's supposed to be like an anime app there, make your pictures look like they come out of an anime. I noticed they kind of look like, like when they show the closing credits and they be showing like the different anime characters, sort of almost like painting form almost, to really, embrace the artwork. So here's let me show you this real quick, and that will conclude the video. So enjoy.